Okay, so I was talking about wafer paper in my first video, and this is the next one about daisies. And I said I would show you how to make some daisies. So I made these little daisies, and these are super easy. They're really cute. Maybe I should put them down here. They're really cute, and they, they're made with a paper punch. So you don't have to cut out the petals. You just have to get the paper punch and do that. These are artificial stamens that I got from a vintage seller, and you really have to look around to find these if you want to use the artificial ones. You can make these out of gum paste. I have a daisy center mold, and you can find them other places. You don't have to get it from me, but you might have one lying around. Or just take a little ball of gum paste and make a whole bunch of centers like this, and then let them dry and you'll be ready to go. Just make sure that when you're making them, you're making the back flat, because you want the back to be flat so that you can stick the wafer paper to it and it's not going to be difficult to manipulate, okay? I have in my shop also, I came up with all of these different colors of wafer paper that are they're watercolory, and they've got variations on them. And the reason for that is I want to be able to make a daisy that isn't a flat color and is only one flat shade. And by doing it this way, you get kind of a variation of colors in there, and it makes it look a little different. So I'm going to use this one. Well, let's see. I'll use this little pinky one. I like this one. All right, and all you're going to do, each daisy is going to take maybe 3 or 4. I'm going to do 4. Okay, let's put that over there. All right, so each one is going to take 3 or 4 of the little flower shapes. And this is, I don't even know who makes this. This is my Paper Studio punch, but you can get these at craft stores. It just depends what brand you can find and, what they're selling. So I'm going to use my vodka, and I'm just going to take this little spray bottle and put some in there. And instead of putting it on the flower, let me flip this over. I'm going to put a little bit on the back of the stamen. And if you've made these out of gum paste, you can do it that way, because I don't want to rip the first one that I put on there. And I want this to be pretty damp so that it really grabs the wafer paper, okay? So you're just going to take this. Actually, I'm going to cut off this wire. These are real vintage stamens. Sometimes if you look for vintage stamens online, you can find some really unusual shapes that are good. But I'm just going to wire this through the center. I'm going to poke the wire through the center of the flower and just pull it straight up. And it gets a little jammed up on the fuzzy part up at the top. But I'm just pressing this on there. And if, sometimes the petals will fall off. That's okay. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be even. See, that's not centered, but that's okay because we're putting another one on there. And sometimes if your hands are a little tiny bit damp, you can just touch that and grab it. I'm going to put a tiny bit, let me put this one down. I'm going to put just a tiny, tiny bit of vodka right in the center, because this is going to stick onto the back of this one. It doesn't need to stick to the stamen part. And just kind of overlap them, and see how this is kind of dissolving now because I got it too wet, but oh well. But it's okay because you're going to put 3 or 4, and you can always put another one on there. And I'm moving this around now because it looks like it's a little uneven. So put a couple on there and then just wait, let it set up for a little bit. And then you could probably even, if this is wet enough on the back, just put a little bit more. And you don't even need to put any on this. Just stick the next one on there. Bring it all the way down. And try to overlap the petals so that this next layer covers up the gaps. So when you're bringing this up, kind of line it up so that it's not completely even, because you want to fill in any gaps. See, it's looking fuller. All right, I'm going to put a little bit more on here. And if you need to cut out another one, it looks like I might need to cut out another daisy, and that's perfectly fine. Just to make sure that it looks full enough. Let's see, I'm lining it up so that the petals overlap and fill in any gaps in the front. There we go. And because it's the watercolor paper, it kind of, you get different colors in different parts of the flower. So it doesn't look, most flowers have more than one color in the petals. If you look really closely, there's shades of the main color. And this way it gives it kind of a more lifelike look if it's a little bit more three-dimensional. So that's basically it for a daisy. I mean, it takes literally 2 minutes once you get the centers ready. And if you, like I said, if you have to make these out of gum paste, just take some wire, put the gum paste into a daisy mold and stick the wire in there before the gum paste dries, and then you have a whole bunch of centers ready to go. So very simple, easy to do. And next time I will, I'll put links to the paper and the daisy center molds in the description of this video. And like I said, next time we will look at maybe some larger flowers using, let me think. I'll show you how to manipulate the petals to make them rounded to do like a rose or something like that in the next video.